Hello everybody from Plant Reviews. Today is the 5th of April and talking now about one of my rarest, possibly the rarest of my grape hyacinth, of the grape hyacinths in my collection, and this is Muscari racemosum, also known with the synonym of Muscari, muscarimi, and also as Muscari moschatus. Muscari racemosum is a perennial bulbous flowering plant in the asparagus family, Asparagaceae, and in the subfamily Psiloideae and the tribe Hyacinthus. So is a close relative of the squills and of the hyacinth. Muscari is a genus of about 40 species, commonly known as grape hyacinths, and this name is due to the fact that actually looking at the flower it kind of resembles a cluster of grapes. Actually is even more similar when they are like in bud. However, even when they are in full bloom, some muscari species, especially the ones that have bright blue or purple flowers, really resemble a cluster of black grapes. This one, the Muscari racemosum, even if it's the type species for muscari, it doesn't resemble much a cluster of grapes because of the color, even if you can see the arrangement of the flower kind of resemble a grapes cluster turned upside down with the smaller fruits at the top and the bigger fruits at the bottom. But obviously in this case are the flowers that develop and open from bottom to the top. So it's a kind of reversed grapes cluster. The flowers of muscari species appear in spring, and they are arranged in a spike or raceme, so in a cluster. And basically, the arrangement is in a spiral on the flower scape that can be is a spiral that can be more or less loose or packed. Obviously, depends by the species. This in particular, Muscari racemosum, is kind of loose. Instead, most of the muscari that you buy in garden centers and online and sometimes even supermarkets, like Muscari armeniacum, Muscari neglectum, they are quite packed. The individual flowers are basically they have 6 petals, but the 6 petals are fused in this goblet shape. It's like an ovoid flower, and the flower is constricted at the mouth, and you can see, and at the mouth you can actually see the 6 petals only because in some species, like actually in Muscari racemosum, you can see these 6 kind of teeth on the flower that basically are the remnants of the point of the tepals. And this arrangement of the flower, they are so constricted at the mouth, differentiate this genus Muscari from the very closely related genuses that are Bellevalia and Pseudomuscari, that instead have quite open flowers. The name Muscari comes from the Greek word muskos, that means musk or musk. I'm not sure about the pronunciation, sorry, and this refers to the scent. This kind of scent that is very important in perfumery, and actually this is the scent that is typical in this species, Muscari racemosum, that was called also indeed Muscari moschatum as a synonym. The term muscari was used as part of the name in many species belong to this genus that are now included in Muscari. And this term muscari can be traced back to Carlos Celsius in 1601. In the 1753, Carl Linnaeus used the name Hyacinthus muscari to classify the plant, this plant indeed, that now we know as Muscari racemosum, because it has been reclassified, because it obviously is quite a different plant from Hyacinthus, the real hyacinth. Muscari racemosum is also known as Muscarimi because was classified by some other scientist. I don't remember which one, as Muscarimi, and basically together with another species that I have here, Muscari macrocarpum, it forms a group in the genus Muscari called called Muscarimia. So, and this genus is characterized by leaves that are like grayish green in Muscari racemosum, more greener in Muscari macrocarpum, and also usually they have quite a lot of leaves, like 5, 6 or more, in comparison to the commonly known Muscari that belong to another group, the Botryanthus, that have instead usually 2, 3 bright green leaves, and also they have usually bright blue, dark blue or purple flowers, while the Muscarimia group, as you can see, they have different colored flower. In Muscari macrocarpum the mature flowers are yellow, while the buds that need to be open are kind of lilac. Instead, in Muscari racemosum the mature flowers that are open are white, while the buds are kind of grayish, purplish. So it is I love this grape hyacinths because obviously they are very different from the commonly available hyacinths, and also as you can see, the cluster of flowers are a lot taller than the usual grape hyacinths. Even if the usual grape hyacinths, I also like very much the arrangement because they are very compact, very packed of flowers. These ones instead, as you can see, they have kind of a loose arrangement of the flowers. However, another feature that differentiates the two groups is the fact that the bulbs in these muscaries are quite big, and even when the bulbs are dry, the roots really are quite fleshy and thick, so they remain attached to the bulb, while instead in the Botryanthus group, like the armeniacum or the neglectum and many other muscari species, basically when you buy the bulb, you buy just the typical spherical bulb, and they are much smaller anyway. Another difference that I found is the fragrance of the flowers. The blue and purple grape hyacinths have a very faint scent. Instead, in both Muscari racemosum and Muscari macrocarpum, the scent is more intense. Even if do not imagine a scent that really wafts in the garden, if you actually smell the flower, you can really smell a scent more intensely in racemosum and macrocarpum, more intense than the commonly available grape hyacinths. However, as I said, do not imagine a strong scent that spreads around the air, like for example from a tazzetta daffodil, from many of the tazzetta daffodils varieties, or from sarcococca in winter, or from orientalisis in summer. Really, there's nothing of their intensity in these flowers. However, it is nice if you have them in a pot every now and then to smell the flowers and getting a little bit inebriated by this scent. The Muscarimia, so are as grape hyacinths, they are a lot rarer than normal grape hyacinths. You can actually find the macrocarpum in the variety I have, the cultivar called Golden Fragrance, can actually be available in the biggest garden centers, but really the Muscari racemosum, or Muscari muscarimi, or Muscari moschatus as sometimes is called, is rarely available in garden centers. This is the cultivar white triumphator. I would recommend you to go and find specialist bulb online nurseries, because it's more likely that they have this species in stock. It's not overly rare, but you have to look for it. It's not that easy to find, and it's a pity because the fragrance is very, very nice. The Genus Muscari is native to the Mediterranean area, so Southern Europe, Northern Africa, and Western and Central Asia. And Muscari racemosum is the type species of Muscari, and it is characterized by the sweetest scent of all, according to some scientists. Honestly, I find that the scent is sweeter in the golden fragrance, in the macrocarpum, they have the cultivar golden fragrance, rather than in the racemosum, in the white triumphator. I think in the racemosum it smell more like, yeah, musk, but also kind of cinnamon like. Instead, in the macrocarpum really smells like banana, so I would really say that the macrocarpum has a sweeter fragrance, even if I love also the fragrance of the racemosum. About the flowers, I have to say that I like more the arrangement of the racemosum. Also, I like the combination of colors. This white, like a pure white flowers combined at the bottom, open, combined with this grayish lavender at the top that also kind of matches the grayish green leaves that become purplish at the tip, even if unfortunately some of the tips are already drying up. I think it's very, very ornamental, very elegant. Instead, in the macrocarpum, the flowers are kind of more loose, and also I still like the combination of color, this bright yellow and this purple on the top, but as you can see, the floral arrangement is a little bit looser in the macrocarpum rather than in the racemosum. So I think as a flower I prefer the racemosum, even if I love the scent of both. The Muscari racemosum, as all Muscari, is a perennial bulbous flowering plant, and it is native to southwest Turkey, where it grows on rocky areas. It is a very robust plant with large bulbs and thick fleshy roots. The leaves, as I said, you can see are kind of greyish green, and the flowers are born as usual for Muscari in a spike, in a raceme. The individual flowers are about 7 to 9 millimeters long. You can see my little fingernail fingernail in comparison, and they, when they are open, are white, but you can see at the end the 6 teeth that are basically the remnants of the tips of the tepals that are fused together, and actually kind of you can see the lines that that are fused in these flowers. Yeah, the lines where the tepals are fused. The scent, as I already said, it is sweet, this distinct scent of musk, and in my opinion also cinnamon. I told you about the other synonyms of Muscari racemosum, so you can find it traded as Muscari muscarimi and also Muscari moschatum. Unfortunately, be careful, because sometimes Muscari racemosum is incorrectly used for the bulbs of another species of Muscari, that is Muscari neglectum, and sometimes also Muscari armeniacum, that are completely different species and have nothing of the scent of this incredible species that is quite rare. Instead, if you buy Muscari muscarimi, you are very likely to buy the real plant. If you are unsure, just obviously double check with the photo in the picture of the bulb you are buying. However, also what I would recommend, in addition to write the name on the label where you put the flowers in pots or in the ground, write also the seller. So if you buy from different seller the same species, you know, in case some plants don't turn up what you bought, who is the seller, who the seller was. Otherwise, if you buy a species only from one seller, there is no need to write what seller you have on the label, because you will find on your email when you get the receipt of the, for example, of the bulbs you bought online, who is the seller. Obviously, this is not true when you buy from garden centers. In this case, write on the label also the place, the garden center where you bought them. But as I said, Muscari racemosum is very unlikely to be bought in garden centers. Very few have them, and honestly, I have to say that I found Muscari racemosum available for purchase only online, and only in like 3 or 4 bulb specialist. Is a it's not a very rare bulb, but you have really to look for it. The hardiness of this bulb is a bulb that is a plant that is quite hardy, can be grown outdoors in the USDA zones between 7 and 9, so throughout the United Kingdom, and anyway throughout most of the temperate climate countries. As usual for Muscari and for most bulbs, this species need well drained soil, ideally full sun, but can take partial shade, and as usual they need to be planted in autumn. They bloom usually in early spring, and they go dormant in summer. About the I already told you about that this plant is one of my favorite grape hyacinths, together with the Muscari macrocarpum. However, as I said, you have to look for it, but I think it really worth it, because it's a grape hyacinth with a unique fragrance, really this cinnamon scent accompanied by this musk scent is very unique among grape hyacinths. However, as I said, it is a soft fragrance, is a mild fragrance. Do not imagine to plant it in a fragrant garden and this plant will basically perfume your entire garden. It is a plant that really, it is still quite small. The total height is about probably 15 centimeters at the top of the flower, and really doesn't have the fragrance, the strength of the species that I really would recommend for a fragrant garden that yeah, was fragrance wafted in the air. But definitely is an interesting, absolutely interesting plant. Is a rare plant. I love the aesthetics of the plant and of the flower, in addition to the scent. So it is definitely a plant I can recommend to the collector of fragrant plants, and to collectors of quite rare bulbous plants. As usual, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Well, hopefully you enjoyed it very much, or I hope it at least a little bit. If you like the video, it would be great if you can please give a thumbs up, and if you like this video and my other videos in my YouTube channel, would be great if you can please subscribe. In this case, you obviously this is completely free for you, but subscribing you acknowledge YouTube that you like my videos and the plans of my videos, and YouTube in turn can support me and promote my channel on the YouTube platform. Another note about Muscari and bulbous plant: on Facebook there is a very good website called Bulborum that feature quite a few rare species, actually quite a lot of rare species, and I found it very useful for finding information, including recently I asked a member of the web page help about these names of Muscari racemosum, or Muscari muscarimi, or Muscari moschatum, and he clarified very well the situation, that actually the real accepted name is the Muscari racemosum. So if you are interested in bulbs, especially quite rare bulbs, I definitely recommend to join this Facebook group. Again, it's completely for free, and you can get a lot of information. You can find also pictures of quite rare bulbs, and you can get inspired for the next purchase possibly. As usual, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.